Welcome back to Gina C Creates, everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make these layered Christmas tree mandalas. I added some LED string lights to make a beautiful decorative piece in your house for Christmas time. Once you have my SVG downloaded, you're going to find it in your downloads folder, and it's going to be a zip file, so you're going to have to extract all. Click extract to save to the same location, and it'll give you an open folder. Inside, you'll find that it says double-sided. So this is if you want your Christmas tree the same on both sides. And then one-sided is for it just to be on the front side, and in the back, it'll be solid. So for this tutorial, I'm going to go with the one-sided Christmas trees. And you will get an 8.5-inch tall one, and you'll get a 10.5-inch tall one. And you can see all the files included is a DXF file for the silhouette basic, and then you have a EPS, and you have a PNG, and you can notice that the SVG is displaying as a Microsoft Edge HTML document. And this is because on certain PCs, it doesn't know how to read the SVG file, so it's just going to automatically display it as an HTML. So you don't have to worry about that. That is going to upload just like the SVG. What you need to do is open up Design Space. Go on the folder, the one-sided. And we're going to upload the 10.5-inch Christmas tree first. And you can see it uploaded it just as a cut image. And then we're going to go back and upload the 8.5-inch skinny tree. And we're going to insert both of those designs into our canvas. Isn't uploading outside SVGs the correct size sometimes, so we're going to have to make sure we resize it correctly. For the skinny tree, it's supposed to be 8.5 inches in height. And then we change the 10.5-inch tree height to 10.5. And now we are ready to ungroup, because we need to add score lines to our base. So we're going to ungroup this one again. And you can see there's two basic cut lines, and we're going to change that to score lines. And then we are going to attach the score lines to the shape below. So you select all and click attach. This way the score lines will be over the square when we cut. And you're going to do the same to the 8.5-inch base. Change the cut lines to score lines, attach it, and now we can color coordinate our project. If you're going to use these colors, you can leave it the same, but I'm going to change my back colors to, I'm using like a silver champagne-ish gold color. So I'm just going to select a light gray for that. And then for the middle layer, I'm going to use an ivory color. And for the top layer, I'm going to go with white. And for the base, I am actually going to change it to white, because I want them to match the inside of the Christmas tree. In the video, I have it here as gray, but I go back and change it to white. For these other trees, you could change it to whatever colors you like to match the decor of your home. So once you're done color coordinating it, you can click Make It. And for the silver color, I am using a 12 by 12 glitter cardstock. So I'm going to save some of my cardstock and add the large Christmas tree with the small Christmas tree, just to save an extra sheet of cardstock, basically. And then for my white cardstock, I'm going to change the paper size to 8.5 by 11 so it can sort it for me. And this is how, also for the ivory color, I'm using the 8.5 by 11. So now I'm ready to cut. I'm going to cut my glitter cardstock first. Here's my glitter cardstock. It's more of a champagne color. Here's my ivory cardstock, and here is my white cardstock. And you're going to need 2 sheets of each, along with your craft glue, your foam tape and foam dots, your Cricut scraper, and some rhinestones. And you're going to need your string LED lights. I got these off Amazon. I'll leave the link down below in the description for you. And so you're going to place your glitter cardstock down, and I'm going to use painter's tape to hold the cardstock in place, because when you kind of have a lot of cuts, it could shift the paper around. So we're just going to reinforce it with the tape. So you're going to load it into your Cricut machine and hit cut. And once you're done, you're going to unload it, and you're going to peel off the excess cardstock, and then you're going to gently peel off your Christmas tree. And you might have to poke out some of the cuts with your nails, and you're going to set that aside. And then to clean your mat from all the little paper debris, you're going to use your Cricut scraper and make sure you get off every little piece, because it can mess up your cuts. So here I have the 2 back pieces for the small and large Christmas tree. So next we're going to move on to the regular cardstock, and I'm going to use my ivory next, and I'm going to tape it down as well. And I'm going to change my dial settings back to cardstock plus and hit cut. And then you're going to do the same thing as you did with the glitter cardstock. You're going to peel off the excess first, and then you're going to gently peel up your Christmas tree. If you find it hard peeling off your Christmas tree without bending it, you can use a metal scraper or your Cricut spatula. It's best to use mats that are semi-sticky for when you're cutting cardstock, because if you use a super sticky mat, it can rip your cardstock or curl it when you're pulling it off. So here is the last mat I'm cutting. So now I have all my top layers cut out, and here are my bases. And if you don't have a scoring stylus, this is how you're going to score your paper. You're going to measure a 1/2 inch from the top and make a line, and a 1/2 inch from the bottom and make another line. And you're going to do the same to the other side. Then you're going to line up your straight edge to those both marks going across, and you're going to take your sharp point and make a line all the way down. And this will make your score lines, and you can go ahead and fold. And this will be your base. And this is the base for the smaller tree. And you're going to measure a 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom. And you're going to match up those lines using your straight edge and scoring with a sharp point. Go ahead and fold on the lines and save those for later. And here are all the cutouts for the 10.5 tree. I'm going to start with the 3 mandala layers, and I am going to flip over the middle layer and add some foam squares and foam dots on the back side so I can layer this over my glitter cardstock. I'll leave the size for the foam dots that I am using, because these ones fit perfectly on my little round ornament circles that I have on the tree. And once you have that all filled up, you can flip it over and layer it on the top of the glitter cardstock. And then firmly press down. And for the white top layer, it's a little bit more skinnier in line, so I am going to cut strips of my foam tape. What I do is lay it on some parchment paper and use my blade to cut strips. So it's easy for me to pull the strips off and apply them to the back quickly. So just make sure you add the foam tape and the foam dots along the sides and the center of your Christmas tree. And then now you can layer this on the top of your ivory cardstock. I like to start at the top and then just press down. And now we have the front of our Christmas tree almost done. Next, we are going to add the rhinestones. And these are self-adhesive. They come in strips, so I'm just going to cut them to be single and add it to each little ornament and in the center of my mandala. And you can add as many or as few as you like, or none at all. It's totally optional, but I think it gives it a nice embellishment. So there you have the front filled, and you can keep your Christmas tree like this and add it to a frame, or we can continue and make my Christmas tree light stand. Take the base, and on the outside of the tab, you're going to apply your craft glue or your hot glue, whatever you have on hand, and we are going to line it up to the bottom of the Christmas tree and let that dry for about 5 minutes before you move on to the next side. Just make sure it is flush and flat on the bottom of the Christmas tree and the tabs are on the inside. After that is dried for 5 minutes, we can add the lights to the inside on the back of the Christmas tree mandala. So let's just unravel your string lights, and we're going to pull them out until they're not tangled. And we are going to start with the end of the string light, and we are going to hold it in place with some packing tape. I felt packing tape is a lot stronger than the regular Scotch tape, so this is why I chose to go with clear packing tape. And you are just going to tape it onto the back side of the mandala Christmas tree design. And you're just going to zigzag all the way across, and make sure not to cover any holes with tape, because then you'll be able to see it on the front side. So I'm just making sure I tape down the wire to the cardstock without covering any of the holes with wire or tape. I did try to use hot glue to hold this wire down, but it tends to bend and pop up. And it didn't seem like the hot glue was strong enough to hold this wire down. But packing tape really did the trick. So you just cut small strips and zigzag all the way down to where the fold line is. And you can leave the battery pack on the inside. And to seal up, we're just going to place glue on the tip of the Christmas tree and let dry and stand up. And you can see on the inside, on the front, you can see the wires. But this is our one-sided Christmas tree, so we are just going to see the front view of it. And next we are going to do the 8.5, a skinny Christmas tree. And I'm just going to go with my foam dots to fill up the middle layer. And I use some micro foam dots for my top skinny layer. And I can leave that link for you in the description as well, because they really come in handy when you're dealing with thin cardstock strips. And now that I have my mandala done, I am going to glue on the base to the inside of both Christmas trees. And just make sure, if you are using craft glue, that you let it dry completely before you stand it up and add your lights. And I'm using the same string LED lights for the small one as well, but what I'm going to do is fold it in half and twist the wires together to make it shorter. And then I am going to basically do the same thing with my tape. I tape it to the top Without going all the way to the top, you're going to want to leave the spot for the craft glue for when you close it. And you finish taping it, add the glue to the top, and then close it and let it dry. And after that, your Christmas trees will be ready to be used. Look how stunning and beautiful these projects came out just by using cardstock, glue, and some LED lights. I really hope you guys give these a try for your Christmas decorations this year. Make some for a friend, give them away as a gift. And if you run a small business, you can add this to your product line. Just make sure you purchase a commercial license at GinaCCreates.com. Thank you for visiting, and make sure you subscribe and like this video. See you next time.